What if you were told that a man could rise from a humble background to become one of the most feared and powerful leaders in the world, only to eventually meet an ignominious end? This is the story of Saddam Hussein, a man whose name is synonymous with the iron rule of Iraq from 1979 to 2003. Born into poverty in 1937 in Tikrit, Iraq, Saddam Hussein's life was marked by hardship from the start. His rise to power began in 1968 when the Ba'ath Party overthrew the existing government. From then on, Saddam Hussein worked his way up the ranks until he became the president of Iraq in 1979. One of the defining aspects of Saddam Hussein's rule was his ruthless suppression of any form of dissent. He was known to use violence and fear as tools to maintain control over the Iraqi population. His regime was characterized by numerous human rights abuses, including the use of chemical weapons against his own people, notably in the Kurdish village of Halabja in 1988, which resulted in the deaths of thousands. Saddam Hussein's rule was also marked by a series of wars. In 1980, he instigated a war against Iran that would last for 8 years, resulting in significant loss of life and economic instability. A decade later, in 1990, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, setting off a chain of events that led to the Gulf War. This invasion was met with international condemnation and resulted in a coalition of 35 countries, led by the United States, launching Operation Desert Storm to liberate Kuwait. Despite the end of the Gulf War in 1991, the international community continued to view Saddam Hussein's regime with suspicion due to its history of aggression, human rights violations, and alleged possession of weapons of mass destruction. This suspicion eventually led to the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003, which marked the end of Saddam Hussein's rule. After months on the run, Saddam Hussein was captured in December 2003. He was subsequently tried and convicted for crimes against humanity and was executed in 2006, bringing an end to the life of one of the most controversial figures of the 20th century. In summary, Saddam Hussein's rule was marked by his rise to power through the ranks of the Ba'ath Party, his ruthless suppression of dissent, a series of wars, and human rights abuses. His reign ended with the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003. His capture, trial, and eventual execution. His legacy is one of fear, violence, and a country left in turmoil, a stark reminder of the dangers of absolute power.